My man, Thicky D, coming out here with the hot take that literally everyone knew he was going to come out with. Hit it.
In order to make America great and glorious again, I am tonight announcing my candidacy for President of the United States.
Woo! 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 So to reiterate what I've said recently, that I still believe completely, fully, 100%, but to reiterate, to make sure everyone knows, Donald Trump is actually communism's only hope in America right now. The reason for that is because the Republicans are getting an opportunity to consolidate a lot of anti-democratic procedural nonsense that they've been working towards for a while, and DeSantis is the one the Republicans want to be their frontrunner. DeSantis is more ideologically committed to fascism, he's more easy to control, he's more predictable, and he's less of a narcissist. Trump is, I think, a fascist purely by coincidence. I don't think he's ideologically fascist. I just think he's just sort of an idiot who's very self-absorbed, and that's what directs him towards, you know, aligning with the, you know, the Republican Party. He also has a huge ego, so I think that Trump has a very real chance at tearing apart the Republican Party by refusing to concede to DeSantis, who their institutions will back. I think that in 2016. The Republicans were looking for anyone to lead them after Obama enjoyed some pretty popular terms as president. Now they know who they want to lead them, DeSantis, but Donald Trump still holds the hearts and minds of a lot of Republican voters.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you. All of you.
Woo! Look at all these phones.
Some people say, how do you speak before so many people all the time? When there's love in the room, it's really easy, if you want to know the truth.
That's how I feel with you guys.
You ought to try it sometime. Together we will be taking on the most corrupt forces and entrenched interests imaginable. Our country is in a horrible state. We're in grave trouble. This is not a task for a politician or a conventional candidate. This is a task for a great movement that embodies the courage, confidence, and the spirit of the American people. This is a movement. This is not for any one individual.
See, right off the bat, he's making a dig at DeSantis here. So far, DeSantis has abstained from firing back at Trump, but given the fact that Trump is the thing is, Trump is being motivated by shit like this. Fox News, DeSantis, new leader. There are, the Republican institution is fully backing DeSantis, which is why you're going to see so many conservative commentators and pundits try to go I'm suddenly very concerned with how irrational and selfish Donald Trump is. Actually, I've always had an issue with how unpresidential he's been. So anyway, that's why I'm switching to DeSantis, you know. You're going to see them pulling people over, you know. The extent to which this actually works, though, some people really like Trump.
USA! 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 USA!
This is very disrespectful in the Arab states.
Ron has got too big for his britches.
He's out.
He has plenty of time to gain wisdom.
Trump or death.
Let him stay in Florida for a while.
Remember when they did the Saddam Hussein statue came down?
That's right, yes.
Remember when the Saddam statue came down?
Hey.
He's like, my father used to say to me, he used to say, son, I brought you into this world, I can take you out.
Everything DeSantis
We're taking him out.
Everything he's got, he goes to Trump.
It's Trump or death.
So anyway, there are some people who are very pro-Trump, which is bad for the Republican Party. There's a very real chance of DeSantis beating out Trump in the primaries and Trump voters being disillusioned and not voting at all. There's a real chance of Trump breaking away and making a third party. It sounds insane, but he might actually do it. I mean, we'll see. We will see. It might not end up mattering at all because we might be in a post Harper v. Moore situation where votes don't matter anymore and democracy is already over. But, you know.
There's a job for tens of millions of proud people working together from all across the land and from all walks of life, young and old, black and white, Hispanic and Asian, many of whom we have brought
What about Native American Trump?
Together for the very, very first time. If you look at the numbers, if you look at what's happened with Hispanic, with African American, with Asian, and just look at what's happening.
Does fascism always naturally turn on itself? Yes, every time. Always. Inevitably. It can take time, but it will.
This is a party that has become much bigger, much stronger, much more powerful, can do much more good for our country.
God, look at this tacky
This is a job for grandmothers and construction workers, firefighters, builders, teachers, doctors, and farmers who cannot stay quiet any longer. You can't stay quiet any longer. You're angry about what's happening to our country. Our country is being destroyed before your very eyes. It's a job for every aspiring young person and every hard-working parent, for every entrepreneur and underappreciated police officer who is ready to shout for safety in America. The police are being treated so badly. These are great people that can straighten out the crime. They're the ones that know how to do it. We have to give them back their respect and their dignity.
Not very high energy. That really doesn't have that zing, you know? I feel like part of it's that he's older, of course. And I think part of it is also the fact that I think Donald Trump is deflated a little bit with the knowledge that he's no longer the only main character of the Republican Party. Because keep in mind, since late 2015, up until basically a couple of months ago, Donald Trump was the uncontested leader of the Republican Party. And now all of a sudden, you know, there's another lad out there. I feel like it's kind of like being the older child, you know, like the new baby is born. You feel kind of left out because your parents are spending less time with you because they got to tend to the baby, you know? That's how he feels.
This will not be my campaign. This will be our campaign all together. Because the only force strong enough to defeat the massive corruption we are up against is you, the American people. It's true. The American people, the greatest people on earth. We love them all. And we love both sides. We're going to bring people together. We're going to unify people. And it was happening in the previous administration, previous to the previous. And what was bringing them together was success. Prior to COVID coming in, the people were calling me, you wouldn't believe it. People that were so far left, I figured they'd never speak to me and I would never speak to them. But our success was so incredible, like never before. And then COVID started coming in from China. We call it the China virus. Some people call it other things. But it was devastating, and we built it back and did an incredible job. But when people say...
Okay, the really f***ed up thing is that DeSantis isn't funny. Trump is still funny, right? Joe Biden is funny. Joe Biden ended up being funny. He's a funny dude, right? I didn't think he would be, but he kind of is. DeSantis is not funny. There's nothing comedic about DeSantis. He's boring. It's the banality of evil. There's nothing. It's so...
Republicans or Democrats or liberals or conservatives, I say we can all get together. And we were doing that. That was happening just prior because the success was greater than this country has ever had. We were leapfrogging China and leapfrogging everybody else, and everybody wanted a piece of it.
You guys seen this? I thought it was quite funny.
Anybody here would do it.
Project to get
Judges are a priority.
And honestly, we have businesses that have been locked down and lives destroyed for over a year based on saying no COVID vaccine passports are made in China and shipped here. Why would we want so many important things
Can we take them?
to us be at the whim of China?
Anybody here?
some of this is kind of bunk, but I do think that in some specific ways, DeSantis has made an effort to mimic. Especially this, man. This is a very specific, the like one hand out open and then the one hand up with the like the thumb and forefinger together with the like, yeah. He's making an effort to capture those votes by trying to do the same affectation. The difference is that Donald Trump is doing this sincerely. Donald Trump is just like that. That this is just how he talks, you know? DeSantis is like in a cowardly, sort of like weak way trying to imitate it. You can tell the difference in the way they act, too, that he's doing this like practiced, performative imitation. Donald Trump is just like that.
Anybody here would do it.
Project to get
Judges are a priority.
And honestly, we have businesses that have been locked down and lives destroyed for over a year, basically.
You see what I mean, right? There's like a difference in how they carry it. DeSantis is not funny. Forget the fascism. That's the real problem with him winning.
But just as I promised in 2016, I am your voice. I am your voice. The Washington establishment.
Low energy on the cheers, too. You want to know why? Because I bet a lot of people in that audience are members of the GOP who know that it would be politically disadvantageous for them to throw themselves entirely behind Trump. I bet you a lot of people in the audience are like, okay, you know, we're here for Trump's thing, but they know where things are tipping. Apparently, Trump's family isn't even backing him. Was it Ivanka and who was the other one who are not participating in this campaign? Ivanka said that she's just not participating this time. Was Eric? Eric was the other one? Was Jared. Okay, Jared was the other one. Okay, yeah, they're just not, yeah. Yeah, and apparently Trump's security people kept people from leaving during the speech.
Leave.
POV are stuck at Trump's 2024 announcement.
I think perhaps a little concerned that the hall would empty out too much. They actually started preventing people from leaving, so now they're no longer allowing people to leave. And people leaving early even before he was done. He's still speaking now.
People don't need either, but we love our country. We have to take care of our country. We have to save our
country. Imagine being the guy who like does a little cough and gets caught like that.
Country. Every policy must be geared toward.
No, it smells crazy in there.
In 300 years, imaginable. Our country is there's a job to exactly 1%. Nice, easy life. It's bravely. He said, no, I'm not the king. I said, yes, you are the king. Many, many, many times what it was just 2 years ago.
All right, you goofy goobers.
Incredibly low energy. I actually saw people trying to leave, and people leaving early even before he was done. He's still speaking now, and then they, I think perhaps a little concerned that the hall would empty out too much. They actually started preventing people from leaving, so now they're no longer allowing people to leave. Incredibly low.
Cool. Just piss on the shoes of the security guys.
Establishment wants to silence us, but we will not let them do that. What we have built together over the past 6 years is the greatest movement in history because it is not about politics. It's about our love for this great country, America, and we're not going to let it fail. I am running because I believe the world has not yet seen the true glory of what this nation can be. We have not reached that pinnacle, believe it or not. In fact, we can go very far. We're going to have to go far. First, we have to get out of this ditch. And once we're out, you'll see things that nobody imagined for any country. It's called the United States of America, and it's an incredible place.
This is so fucking weak, dude. Holy shit. Okay, that's the end of this video. This whole thing goes on for a while, but you can kind of feel like this is very tired, you know? It's very low energy. Donald Trump is old. His party no longer fully backs and supports him. Yeah, he doesn't... I don't think Donald Trump has a chance in hell against DeSantis with the consent manufacturing machines of the GOP working full-time come the primaries. However, I do think there are going to be Trump loyalists that'll stick around like the whole way through. You know what I mean? It's hard to say. We'll see how it goes. We'll see. But I do bet you the reason why the crowd was so quiet was because a lot of them were political operatives who did not want to cast themselves out from the light of DeSantis's good graces by being too enthusiastic about Donald Trump. It's pretty wild that that's the position the GOP is in right now. Then again, we shouldn't really make fun considering the fact that it looks like the 2024 Democratic candidate is going to be like Biden. I don't know if Biden will run. Just like who, like what? No one's cutting up a stir, right? Like Kamala Harris hasn't really kicked at it. Pete Buttigieg hasn't really kicked at it. Warren hasn't really kicked at it. There hasn't been any like buzz or energy. I mean, I guess we'll see. Fetterman, yeah, the clobbering. Let's go. Do you think Bernie? No, please stop. Do not suggest Bernie. Okay, let him retire. What about JB Pritzker? A lot more work needs to be done. A lot more work. You? I'm not old enough. All right, well, we'll see how it plays out. Stop. Cut it. Cut it. Cut it.